This is our Saturday night again.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again for joining me for tea time. Today is night. I still have some tea. I have a little bit of misty morning and that is it. I'm hanging out with you guys, but with my wife tonight. I coerced her to come out and play. So anyways, guys, this is going to be just a regular hangout. We're going to talk about anything that you guys want to talk about, but I'm going to kind of hone in on the last week's events, right? So there was a lot of stuff that happened with Starlink, but then I also did another video that I was talking about photographers. So we'll do photo, video, tech, whatever you guys want to talk about. That's what we'll talk about, but we're just going to kind of hang out.
Another Saturday night hanging out.
Yeah.
This is such a fun couple.
This is what we do. So tell everyone who you are, besides my wife.
Oh, I was going to say I'm your wife.
Yeah. What else?
I'm a makeup artist and hairstylist for almost, 30 years? Now I've told everybody our age.
Yeah.
And a mother of 3 and recent grandmother of 1.
I know. Can you? All right. So we're grandparents. I don't know. Do you feel like a grandparent?
Absolutely no. I barely feel like a parent.
So are they going to call you grandma?
No.
Aunt Viola?
Maybe.
Okay. Is your phone off? It's going to be ringing? Come on.
No, it's off.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Who do we have in the chat so far? We have, let's see, APG Show. We have Justin. Kamikaze Ozzy. Saw you last week. A bunch of people here. We got Anthony. How are you guys doing? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into the chat window and anything that you want to have answered, let's say, put a Q before the question. So if you guys are talking amongst yourselves, then I don't have to like check that out. I mean, I'll look at it anyways. But the last time when we went live, I was live with Trevor Current and there was like hundreds of comments and stuff going through the chat window. So it got to be a little bit kind of crazy. So put a Q before any one of your questions.
I should have sat over there so that I could read that. But it's,
so you can read, you want me to switch it around so you can see it?
Yeah, switch it around.
Because
then
this?
when
Can you see
talking,
that?
yeah, that's better.
Is that better?
So much better.
Oh, all right. Well, then now you can see it.
There you go.
Good. So anything that looks important, tell me.
I will tell you.
All right. Or you answer it. It might be a question for you, not me.
It might not. I don't know. We'll see. If it doesn't pertain to brushes, makeup, color, I don't know.
Yeah. So she's a makeup artist, hairstylist. She does a lot more than that, but she does it for, let's say, stars, I guess. So that's her thing. And we always, just like anything else, whenever we work with certain clients, we really can't say who we work for or half the times what the projects are that we do because either they're under NDA or something. But yeah.
Or something
like that. So we've been doing it for a long time. So let me see. Alien Drone Services says 60K subs. Can you imagine? I can't even believe it. We just hit 60K.
I know. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Way to go. I'm
going to have like a cake or something that says 60K on it.
Yeah. Now let's hit 100 first.
Yeah, we need 100. We need 100. But yeah, that was like a big thing.
That is a big thing. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of time and effort and information out there and hours.
Yeah, a lot of hours. That is true. It's a lot of hours. People don't know, like, so, I do a lot of different things, but one of the things obviously is the YouTube channel, and it does take a lot of hours. And I try working it in usually in the early morning, and then by afternoon I'll have time to do some of the other projects that I'm working on. But it is definitely, I mean, it's a job.
It's a full-time job.
I would say every bit of part-time, but sometimes it feels like full-time because especially like this last week, I got about 5 videos, I think, out for you guys. And they were just, I had to keep on producing them because there was so much that was coming out, especially about Starlink. I'm like, geez, I have to put out the next one. And every time I find out something that's really important that I know you guys are going to want to know, then I'll have to do another video. I'm like, oh my God. And some people just give me shit for it. And they'll be like, well, why in the hell you just constantly do Starlink? And it's because you guys keep asking me for it. And that's why I do it. Whereas before I was doing a lot of like tips and tricks when it comes to video or editing, or I used to do the Life After Adobe cutting the cord series and all that kind of stuff. But you guys just been crazy with the Starlink stuff.
And that's where the full-time part comes in, because it's not just about, as we know, the production, the editing, and all the things. It's the information, the research. That takes a lot of time, and you're obviously all these years making sure that what you're put out there is, as accurate as possible, and to help people out, so. Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not right all the time. I try to be right as much as possible, but when I'm not right, a lot of these great people on here will tell me, hey, you were wrong about this and that, and then I'll put like an amendment in there, and the next video will be like, hey, there you go. So anyways, let's see.
Okay, so Arnie we have a lot of people saying hello. Hi, everybody, on this Saturday night. We're hanging out. I'm
Justin
glad that
says,
you guys are here.
Did you have 2-minute blip here? Starlink. They're talking about the Starlink and the blips and stuff. I mean, obviously he's talking about just joking around with we didn't get on at 10, but I want to ask you, right? So the Starlink thing, right? Before we get into all the different questions and stuff, how has it been since we've moved and transitions from AT&T Uverse? That has just been, for so many years, and now we're using Starlink all the time. How is it like when you do, because you do a lot of Google Meets and a lot of meetings and stuff, and where you're live with people,
right.
Does anyone ever tell you, hey, you look like a Minecraft, because you're all pixelated?
I don't look like a pixel.
No, you don't. No. Okay, that's good.
I used to look like a pixel.
Yeah.
I would say that overall, it's great. It changed for us, especially because we don't live out in I wouldn't say we live out in the city. I wouldn't say that, excuse me, we live in the boonies, but we somewhat kind of do.
In between.
In between, right.
And that's always the worst part, is the in-between area.
Right.
Like when you're in the city, guys, you have fiber, you have fat cable, you have Comcast and all the rest of this stuff. And then when you're in the boonies, you have absolutely nothing. And then you're sitting on Viasat, or you're doing some type of Hughes network or something that's just complete trash. But now all of these people in the boonies can get Starlink, and we're kind of halfway in between. So we have AT&T, but we don't have anything else. We don't have fiber. We do not have Comcast. Comcast wanted to bring cable to our location for, what was it? 50?
It was like 50 grand.
Like, I think it was like 58,000 and change.
At the time,
right?
I'm sure now it would be way
It's
more.
probably more, right?
But for us, getting back to the question, for me, it changed immensely. It's great. Had no issues. Like it used to take so long for a page to load. And for me, like doing what I do, looking at images, high-res images would take forever to load. So, things like that. But that really changed. Although as of lately, it's kind of been doing a little slow stuff. It's just, I don't know what's going on. And then of course he hears about it, because I'm not like the super tech person. I know enough to get me through and get me by. So he'll hear about it, because then I'm complaining. I'm like, what's going on? And we were doing so good. And then there's times where it's fine for a little while. Perfect. And then it goes back again. And
I blame Elon Musk for this. If he's listening, I blame you. And the reason being is, Starlink, when we first got involved with it, it was beta. And I got almost the very first dish that came out of beta. That was that generation 2. And I was getting like 300 megabits down and like 35 to 40 plus megabits up. And it was just glorious, right? And everything was perfect. It was just amazing. Yeah, we had some spotty outages for a minute sometimes, which is a long time. But man, the speed was unbelievable. And then he sold it and then sold it. And it's at this point, it is oversold. And I always use the analogy of the eggs. You have 12 eggs and you're giving it to 15 people. You have to cut open the eggs, right? To give it, and then it turns messy. And that's exactly what's going on. The system right now is just simply messy. It's a wreck. And now that there's so much of this roaming crap that he has going on, it's very difficult for them to tie down people to a location. So what happens is it's very easy to oversell a cell, right, of coverage because you don't know who's going to be there. And for us, we have a KOA, which is like a camping ground that's literally a few miles up the road.
Yeah.
And as soon as, we get an influx of the, all of these transient people that are coming to the KOA to stay, especially during holidays, then what happens to our cell? Our cell goes from, let's say, 300 people in the cell to all of a sudden 3,000 people in the cell, or 1,500, or whatever the number is, and now the service goes into the toilet. So, this is what they're trying to work out, and it has just been, it's frustrating.
Yeah,
It really is. And it's like you expect one thing, you expect an apple and they're giving you an orange.
Especially when it started off so good.
If you come on board now and you're like coming in from Viasat or HughesNet, which are just complete shit, right?
Well, that was like kind of like us.
Yeah, with
even
AT&T.
though we had AT&T, which
was
I'm
garbage.
sorry for some people, it's almost like you got the leftover parts of AT&T, so you weren't even getting that great of service. So then when we got this was awesome, and now and you have a lot of questions.
Yeah. So all right, so let's get right in here. So Arnie says AP. Okay, he's talking to.
Thank you so much. We love that comment that we look like we're in our 30s. So best advice is to take care of yourself and never think of yourself as aging. It's only a number, so don't put limitations on yourself, and tons of skincare.
Yeah.
And he uses it too.
Not enough. She uses a lot more. Look at this. I'm wrinkled. Let's see. Let me see. What do we have here? 30s.
Is this live?
Yes, this is live. Let me see what we got. Yeah, it is. This is definitely live. Kamikaze always says AG show. I was thinking the same too. What did AG say here? Who is he talking about here? Oh, in the 30s. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Let me see. Same price, $50. Yeah. The problem too is the price has just continuously gone up. When we first started with them, it was $99. Then it went from $99 to $110, and now it's going to go from $110 to $120. And it just feels very much so like
everything else today.
Like mobility, right? Like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all these people. It feels like that because they're going up so frequently, and the service is going down and the price is going up. It's just
kind of like everything else today.
Yeah, pretty much in the shitter.
Oh wait, Mr. Smith, what is that orange smoke machine behind you? I want one. Where can I get it?
So I think that was like on the other side. That's like it's a diffuser. So I
got you that.
Yeah, so I guess you put like essential oils into it, and then you turn it on and it diffuses them, so you have like this really nice smell, and it just I just like it.
I'd have to look it up.
You'd have to look it up, yeah. But it looks kind of like
it's supposed to be. Okay,
it's like a flame.
Yeah, but okay, so.
Oh God.
Marketing. It was supposed to be like this little fireplace thing, but like they made it look so big. And then I ordered it and I waited forever for it to come in. And then I get this little box and I'm like, what is this? So I open it and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This thing looked like it was like a foot long, and that.
Yeah, that's like Amazon.
It's
you look at anything
8
and
inches
they
wide.
they use like a macro lens and they're in there so tight. They're like, oh my God, this thing is huge. And then you get it, you're like, where's the rest of the damn thing? But I absolutely love it. It works great. It kind of gives like a vibe of like a mini fireplace kind of look, to it. So anyways, I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see, but you got to come up with, like, if you have a link or something, let me know. I'll put it in the description.
Okay, I'll look for it.
And I'll get, I'll put that link down there. Let me see. Good evening from Edward. Let me see. Or Edwin.
De Jesus. Say it right.
All right. Sorry. Arnie says, okay.
Are you in the RV?
Yeah.
Not yet. Maybe one day.
So yeah, we're on 5 acres, right? So we can actually line up like 20 RVs, probably, like
probably
just put, or more.
Yeah.
But we're not an RV.
I always say it when I do the RV thing, and he says, "No way." I'm like, we should do it at least once.
Yeah.
Like try it.
I want to do like National Lampoons.
Yeah, but like I want to take the kids, like everybody, the
shitters
dogs,
full, and just sit there and just spray.
Yeah.
I would like to do that.
That would be great content. You guys would love to see it. It'd be
Oh
crazy.
yeah, they would love that, I'm sure. Let me see. Here's a question from Anthony. He says, I know that in the States you guys have increase and decrease, but so let me tell you, you're in Canada. My understanding is in Canada, you're not getting the increase and decrease but in the UK they are. And I'm not sure exactly how that goes. Let me know. In Canada, are you seeing an increase like we are, like that extra $10, or is it just remaining the same? Let me know about that.
GRBT, hello from Tasmania.
Tasmania,
You're in
look
the
at that.
boonies in Tasmania.
Tasmania,
That's awesome.
look at that.
Hi.
See that? That's awesome. Wow, Tasmania. That's pretty cool. Are you on Starlink in Tasmania? I would. Maybe. I see the little dish here.
Yeah,
It's possible.
That's awesome.
Wow, nice. Let me see here. How you doing? Let me
Richard.
see. GR8T, great. Thank you. Richard says, I had to drive in town 20 miles for a decent signal. A lot of people had that problem, and other people have moved from, using that, HughesNet or Viasat or whatever, and they're using, for example, the Verizon home internet as well as T-Mobile home internet. And even if they are in the boonies, what they're doing is they're putting up like a directional antenna on a 40-foot mast and pointing it directly at their closest tower and getting some really good 5G speeds. Where I am right here, I cannot get either T-Mobile or Verizon. So it's kind of out for me because I can't get the service. They just say it's not available. So I can't tell them, hey, I can get your, I can attach to your tower using this antenna. Can I still have your service? It doesn't work like that. Your address comes up as it's not available and you're pretty much screwed unless you somehow contact someone and they say, yeah, you can get in or whatever. So, or maybe you could put a different address in and just use it. I don't know. I haven't tried that. This Starlink has been working pretty good, so we don't need to play with that. But that is something that people have been doing that are in the sticks. Let me see here. Here we go. Chaplain here is Stefan, what is it? Breast Senior? He says, our Mr. Bevel, that's my dish up there, was completely covered in snow, 3 feet of snow, lost signal for a while, but eventually cleared straight up. Yeah, so the dishes are doing really well when it comes to snow because they do heat up internally. And it's not like there's an internal heater. What it is they just push a greater amount of amps, more watts, let's just say, to the unit, which heats up the internals and it melts off the snow. So a lot of people are finding that it's working really well. The problem is if you have a day where it's not freezing cold, but yet that is still heating up, let's say, it's cold enough, the wires are starting to melt and people are coming back saying, hey, my service doesn't work. What happened? They go look at their wire and they see the ends are melted. So
what happens then?
Then what they have to do is they have to get in touch with Starlink, and then Starlink will send them actually a new everything. They send them I think a router and the cable. I don't know if they should send them the antenna, but I think
they pay for that,
they don't pay for it.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a known issue. I mean,
okay.
it's a problem, but you're out of service for days
Right.
until you get another one.
Right.
My advice to anyone that's in the cold is to either turn your heater on, quote unquote heater, manually instead of leaving it on auto. You can do that in the application itself. So then you turn it on when you need to and then turn it off when it's done melting, okay? So you don't fry the cable. The other thing you can do is actually only keep, you can set things up internally. The way they have it now is you can put your system into sleep mode, but it's almost like putting a Band-Aid on it because that's not what you want to do. You don't want to put the entire system into sleep because then it goes to sleep and you can't use the internet anymore. My advice, just turn it on and off manually. Period. That will just work until they fix it. But for now, they're sending out new cables and stuff.
That's okay.
If you think you're going to have this problem, go buy another 75-foot or 150-foot cable and have it on standby somewhere.
Yeah.
Because it's always a cable. It doesn't melt the modem inside of Mr. Bevel inside the dish, and it doesn't melt the router either. It's always the cable.
Than losing connection when you're in the middle of trying to do something and you have to wait.
Yeah, just have an extra cable. Let's see, where did we leave off here? I'm in the remote part of Tasmania. Starlink rocks. Wow, so you are on Starlink. That's awesome. Speeds have been slower recently. Yes, slower everywhere. I know. Arnie says it's cool to blame Elon for it. Yeah, might as well. Who else are we going to blame, right, Arnie? We got to blame Elon for it. He's just oversold it. I mean, it started out with residential, then it went from residential to business. Then from residential to business, then it went to best effort. And then those went over to mobility or mobile so that you can move around. There was 3 different services. services of that. Then it went to aviation, right? Then it went to maritime. Now it's on the boats and the cruises. And I mean, it's prolific. I mean, it's everywhere now. But the problem is, there's only so much that you can sell. And the bottom line is it's oversold at this point. Joseph, same here, service in 2021. The service worked great, but now it's horrible. I get it. And that was by FXLRSAZ, I guess Arizona. But yeah, it's just not as good as it used to be. It really isn't. And you're experiencing the same thing. Even, I mean, we're not, so I had a meeting on Friday. Anyways, we had a nice meeting, but it was like 8:30 in the morning. And we were literally about on Google Meets for about, let's call it an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Not a single dropout, guys. Not a single dropout. It was flawless. So, it's just, sometimes it's doing really well, and then other times it's just not. And I think it really has to do with congestion. And that could be congestions for the POP or congestion with the ground station.
Or at home, because sometimes when our son comes home and he gets on.
Well, he will definitely destroy it.
He just, right. And then I'm just trying to do light scrolling, and it's a mess.
And now they have a data cap that, I mean, I didn't even talk to you about it, but they have a data cap that you can only use 1 terabyte of data per month, which would be 1,000 gigabytes. And then once you hit that, then you go into, instead of having like your, premium service, let's say you go into a basic service. So what they do is they slow your speed down by half. So that's kind of shit, I mean,
that's not good.
he said he wasn't going to do that, and now he's having to do it. He doesn't have a choice at this point, but it sucks, So he didn't put it through as of yet. It was supposed to go through by November, then January, and now he's pushed it forward, I think, till April 22nd, 24th, something like that. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Hopefully it just keeps moving forward. We'll see. Let's see. Richard says, got Viasat for a while, better, but Starlink is better for sure. Yeah, I mean, Starlink is no comparison to Viasat or Hughes Network for sure, just for the latency alone. SpaceX Starlink makes most money on RVers. They do make a lot on RV. I think that people will be surprised that SpaceX makes a ton of money on the government. Okay, that's where they're making all their money. Residential is good. Okay, it's good visually, but they make a ton on
cruise ships.
Cruise ships are making good money, but
anything that's moving that isn't,
the government is just a really good one. Let's see. Richard says delays. Anthony says I get 250 down and 30 up speed. That's not bad during the day. That's really strong. Anthony, where are you located? That's what I want to know. Are you in the U.S.? Are you out of the U.S.? I feel like a lot of folks that are out of the U.S. that are in not Canada as much, but in Europe, they're getting really fast speeds. And I don't know if that has to do with less congestion or what, but they're definitely getting better speeds.
And maybe less.
So Anthony Brunk, where are you located?
I want to say like civilization.
Yeah, maybe
like
less.
Downtowns, buildings, things like
and
that.
Then
Other
the thing is,
technology
right?
That's blocking.
And then you have fiber. A lot of the cities, they have fiber anyway, so you don't even need
Right.
Starlink if you're sitting in a city. Great says, "Oh, I'm an old man." Let's see. Let's go back up to here. Where did I leave off?
You were right here.
Oh, it just went down.
No.
Oh, there's a lot. No, we're up here.
No, right
Yeah,
here.
we're here. Oh,
Right
here we go. How many people can a cell
need these?
handle? I probably need it. Yeah, it's like far. I don't know. I'm getting old. How many can a cell handle? So it really depends. They have never made it like, they never put it out there on how many people a cell can hold. And I did a whole video kind of calling them out on how you go to their map, and they have like the dark area and they have the light area, and the light area is where there's plenty of service, and the dark area is where there's a waiting list and stuff. And supposedly in the light area, where there's plenty of service, everyone's going to get a discount of $20. So it's going to be $90 a month. Whereas if you're in a heavily used area, your price goes up, which is kind of crap, but that's what they said. But the thing is a lot of people wrote into the channel and said, I'm in a light area, which says there's plenty of service, and they're raising my rate. I'm like, immediately take a picture of that damn screen and send it in to them. So they did that. And they came back with, one of those copy paste responses that basically says, even if you're in an area that has plenty of coverage, your rate might still go up because of this reason or that reason. So basically, we're going to raise rate kind of randomly. So even if you're in a light area, you might not be getting that $90 a month. But call them out on it.
Yeah.
Take a picture of the damn map, send it in, and say, explain to me why is my rates going up instead of going down? Let them explain to you. You know, there's no reason not to. Hold them accountable. Let's see. Kamikaze Ozzy said SpaceX did a couple of launches in the past week. I watched them. Yes, at the Vandenberg over. Yeah. Hopefully, increase. So those launches that they just did were for the V2, which will be the version 2s instead of the version 1.5s. Those version 2s are the minis. They aren't the full size version 2s. So while
So what does that do?
So Elon is making a massive rocket, let's call it Starship, right? Big rocket, and in the payload area at the cap, right, you can put these version 2 satellites up there, and they fit. The problem is that rocket is not launching yet. It's been, delayed, government this, government that,
Right.
line my freaking pockets. And there's a lot of issues, there's environmental issues, and they'll come up with anything. So they're stalling him. But so what he said, he's like, we need version 2s up there, and we need them there yesterday because obviously we're getting to a point where we're oversold. So what he did is he's had these version 2s shrunk. They're just slightly smaller, and he calls them minis. It's still a version 2, and they're able to fit into this Falcon 9 rocket, but they put them at an angle, like standing up instead of laying flat, and they're able to launch. Guys, let me know if I'm wrong. I think it was 21 or 22 of them in the last launch. And that's the maximum they can fit, whereas normally with the version 1.5s, they can fit like 50 in there.
That's a big difference.
Big difference. And the size difference, it's like 300. It's under 300 kilograms for the version 1.5s, whereas the version 2s or minis, 2 minis are like 900 or something, or 800 and something. It's almost 3 times the size. But they do have the laser communication between the 1.5s and these 2.0 minis. So this is going to help a lot. But bear in mind, the question is, when are we going to see, or when is it going to help the speeds? Kamikaze Ozzy says. And the problem is once they get up into orbit, let's say, it takes a while for them to get into that orbital track where they need to be. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes a month. So just because they just launched them, that doesn't mean that you're going to get any, there's no, let's say, quick result from it. We're not going to all of a sudden see these speeds increase very soon.
Gotcha.
So it's going to take a little bit. What else do we have here? Viasat ensures that we have VoIP all the time. Yes, Viasat is a continuous coverage. It is a geocentric type of system. It's a non-moving, it's a stationary satellite. So yeah, you're going to have high latency, but it's pretty reliable unless you start dealing with weather, and then it's not. Let's see here. RV movie. Yeah, the RV movie. In Canada, we're still seeing price of... All right, so in Canada, it's still $147 a month in Canada. Tasmania, okay, Joe. Increase, decrease. So that's kind of nice, Anthony. You don't have that increase or decrease. I've heard from some people that say the exact same thing. Matter of fact, guys, let's go over real quick. I did let me go to the community tab. I'm going to show you guys. I'll bring it up as soon as I can here. Here we go. All right, so check this out. So we did this poll, and so far, let me see, there's 1,100 and so votes. The question was, the question, this is for only Starlink customers. My Starlink monthly service fee increased, decreased, or stayed the same? Look at these numbers, guys.
I know, 77%.
Look at that.
That's a lot.
Now, I predicted that it was going to be 70% or more. And I made a video. This is before this even happened. So I was right, which is nice. That doesn't always happen.
Can we play Lotto?
We should play the numbers. Maybe. All right. But yeah, so 77% of you guys out of 1,100 plus people said that their service increased in cost. 6% said it decreased.
Oh, wow.
All right. So even if you're in the lighter area, go check out the map. If you don't know what it looks like, matter of fact, here, I'll bring it up. You go to starlink.com/map, and this is what it looks like. Here we go. So if I come in here, look at the US. So supposedly all of this light area here are all supposedly going to get discounts to $90. Obviously, it's nonsense. This is not happening. But all of this area was supposed to get increases. But what we're finding is even along this whole area here, in this lighter area, and especially around Colorado as well as Arizona, they're all getting price hikes, just like the rest of us down here. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that we're seeing. And then what happens is people get pissed because they're expecting, one thing and they're getting something else,
I know. And I'm like one of those people, legitimately one of those people. I think too, though, that we have to remember that you were just talking about this to me the other day. It's only been a year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have a lot.
Give them a little slack.
Yeah, just
right.
a little bit, because
all right, Elon,
Rome
we'll give you
wasn't
some
built
slack.
in a day, and this is pretty impressive.
We'll give you some slack. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so with that in mind, and I've told you guys this before, if you've been with me and you've watched those 125 Starlink videos I've made, I'm not exaggerating, go take a look at the Starlink playlist. There's literally that many. I've said it many times that what he has done is simply remarkable, number one. But number two, even though, yes, he has received some subsidies from the U.S. government, okay, for helping bridge the digital divide, the haves and have-nots, the ones that have high speeds and the people that don't have high speed. He is the only one that has actually taken the money and actually done something with it. Whereas if you look at AT&T or any of the other these providers, they have taken money from the government for not a year, not 5, not 10, 20 years plus, okay? And they've talked about bringing fiber to everyone into the rural areas, and they don't do it.
We're still waiting for
it's
that.
BS.
And we've been here for 24 years.
And if you go if you've heard me say this before, if you go and look up my address, it will say fiber is coming soon. And
for like the last 15 years.
no, yeah. It's like 12 or 13 years. It literally has said the same thing. Fiber is coming soon.
Yeah.
And I made it a point to call them. I didn't even tell you about it. I called AT&T and I said, oh, yeah, look, it says I'm coming soon.
You did tell me. You tell me about it all the time because it's annoying.
But I just called them.
Oh, again?
I just called them. It's like Thursday or Wednesday. Anyways, I called them like, hey, it says coming soon. When am I getting my fiber? And they look it up and, all this nonsense. They're like, oh, it's not coming yet. I'm like, no kidding, really? Well, when do you think it's going to be coming? Well, we don't know.
February.
Yeah, February, somewhere right around there. Yeah, the next day after never. So it's one of those things. He has taken money from the government. He's been making a lot of money from the government, and he's actually given back. Whereas all of these other providers, I'm telling you, I'm very close with some of these. Like when I used to work down Boca with right next to Bell Atlantic's rack, down. Anyways, trust me, I've heard stories and it is nonsense. They take the money from the government and they do absolute shit. Period. End of story. Anyways, let's see.
Can you please pronounce his name properly?
What is the name? Great. It's kind of like Tony the Tiger. Great. All right, I'll do it. Let's see. APG show. All right. Flame diffuser. Oh, you found it. I think that's it, actually.
Oh, I think it is it.
That's probably it.
Way to go.
Good job. Good job. All right, I'll get down there. Let's see. Richard says, had rain fade this morning. Yes, Richard, there is a bunch of rain fade that's happened. If you have a Generation 1, which is the round dish, you don't see that much rain fade. With the Generation 2, the rectangular dish, there's a lot more rain fade. Why? Because there is a smaller number, let's say, of receptors. Okay, your array that's up there, there's just less. And that's just it. That's why if you get the $2,500 unit, which is like 22 by 22, it's almost square, you get a better signal. Why? Because you have more that can actually suck it in, you know? That's just the way it is. Ads are running in Canada and social media platforms for Starlink. Wow, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen any ads in the US, not with us, ever, for Starlink. Never. That's amazing. Let's see. Most of the time been in front. That's good. Phil's camping and touring says most of the time he's in the 200 to 250. That's awesome. That is awesome. John says Starlink. What is this in? Where is this?
Adirondack.
Yeah, but where is in the mountains? Adirondack mountains, right? Reduce build foot of his. Yeah. Well, so you know, you would think that there was some rural areas that I've gotten messages from about 5 or 10 people that are literally sitting in BFE, like there's no population at all,
Right.
and their rate is going up. And when they ask, honestly, God, and when they ask them why, they're like, oh, you know, there's a lot of congestion, and they're like, what do you mean? There's no congestion? There's no one here.
Just the trees.
Yeah, so I don't think the trees are using it, but for some reason, you don't even know. It's kind of weird. 140 Canadian is $118.22 US. Anthony says, yeah. So that's it. There's your $120. So you're right at the same rate as what they're saying. Anthony, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. It's really nice. Thank you for support. Ryan says, I've had Starlink for about a year and a half now and love it. See, yeah, of course, here he says, I had Century before. This CenturyLink, I hear this all the time on how horrible it is. I've never heard of it. I've only hear it from you guys on how bad it is. It's probably like our AT&T or something that we have down here. Horrible. Every time anyone ever says, see, the speeds were absolutely horrible. We hear the exact same thing all the time. So 150 to 200, and he lives in Montana. That's great. I was saying that people in Montana was going to go down to $90. Did you go down to $90? Because you are in Montana.
No,
I hope you did.
Speeds or
No, I know, but I'm talking about the rate.
Okay,
Did your rates go down in Montana to $90? But you should, because there's no one there. I mean, according to the map, when we looked this up, we just saw it. There's no one there, right? Let's see. Central California, mountains, communicate, internet, 2021. Let's see. Here's a question. When is the current equipment going to be obsolete with version 2, or will it? We have the premium dish. So, and that tops at 300 megabits. That's amazing. So you have the premium dish, right? So that is like the business class, that 22 or 20 some inch by 20 some inch. That is $2,500. It is more expensive. This is from Energy Technology. So it's not going to be obsolete with the version 2 satellites. The version 2 satellites are basically satellites that have a 4x speed difference or capacity difference. I forgot what the numbers are. I think they're right around like 100 gigabits per second in comparison to like 20 gigabits per second. So it's 4 times faster, 4 times more. So it can handle a lot more capacity. That's all that's happening. And the interaction between satellite to satellite to satellite through lasers will happen between the version 2s and the version 1.5s, but the version 1s don't have the lasers, so they can't talk. So they're probably going to relegate those 1.5s. That'll let them just fall into orbit and just burn up eventually. So, but the equipment that you have is going to be good going forward. You're not good. I don't see them changing that anytime soon. So you're good. You spend all that money, enjoy it. 300 megabits down at night. That's awesome. I like it. Let's see. Here we go. My rate went down to $90. Sweet. And this is Ryan. Where? And he didn't have any. Okay, so where are you located, Ryan? Let me see. Finally got myself Starlink here in Alaska. This is from Oscar. Sweet. Not in Leo. Satellites in place yet in Alaska. Better. Yeah. So the story is when you're in Alaska or when you're far out, it has more to do with, or even you're in Canada, it has to do with the satellites are still flying overhead, but you don't have a lot of ground stations that are near you. So you end up with a lot of latency. And that's where the issues will happen. But for right now, this is the best that we can do. Let's see here. 21 Joe. Let's see. This one was retracted. They had melt fire. Yeah. Is this a fire hazard? I don't think it's a fire hazard. He was asking, let's see, Chaplin was asking, is it a fire hazard? Talking about the cables melting and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, because I feel that the majority of these times that they're melting is happening closer to the dish outside and not inside. And it messes it up. That's just it. You can't push that many amps or that many watts through a cable that isn't designed for it. The true solution is to still leave everything the damn same, right? And then put in a higher gauge cable. So let's say if they're using 20 gauge cable, 20, AWG cable, we'll use 16, all right? And now you'll be able to pump more watts through it, and you can heat it up all you want, and you don't have to worry about melting cables. That's what I would do. Listen, Elon, just do it. All you have to do is send out cables.
Don't you have a Starlink phone, like a bat phone?
So people ask me all the time, like, do you have an email address?
Yeah.
Do you have is there any way?
Button?
Yeah, like the little red hotline.
Yeah.
Hey, Elon,
No.
I have nothing. They've never approached me. I've talked about them for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
They've never approached me. Never anything.
No.
Do they ever watch my videos? The answer is yes. Because whenever I tell you guys secrets on how to do little things that I figure out, those things get squashed. It's miraculous.
It's like
they get
magic.
squashed. I remember when people were like, it's always good to have a pop or a point of presence close to you, right? So you have a lower latency, right? Lower latency is better. Well, we have a pop down in Miami that's 70 miles away. We're using a pop in Atlanta, Georgia right now that's 700 miles away. So our latency is higher. Well, I went and I talked to them over there through their emailing system, through their trouble tickets. And I gave them a spiel and I had them change me to the pop in Miami. Latency went down from like 35 milliseconds down to like 20, even 18 milliseconds. It was beautiful. So I told you guys how to do it. Screwed.
So can you shut up?
I should have just shut up, right? It was it was perfect. So I told everyone to do it.
So they should have a bat button for you, and then you can help them.
Yeah. So and that was it. And now mine went back to Georgia.
Yeah, see?
I'm screwed. And now if anyone tries to do that, what I teach them to do in that video like back months ago, they're like, it's like a copy paste.
Yeah.
They get a response right away. It's like, no, sorry, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
The service you're getting is the best service as possible and blah, blah, blah. And we're working hard at, this whole nonsense.
Oh.
Copy, paste, copy, paste.
It's good and it's bad.
Yeah. But every time they have to be listening.
I'm going to come up with a bat phone for you.
I think you should.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear a shirt.
A line, a special line.
I should put Starlink technical support.
That would be great.
Right?
Yeah.
I think I should. I like it. I'm going to do it. We got to make those. That would be like some merch. Starlink technical support.
I think you might,
I'd be sued.
You're so sued.
We're screwed.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it.
We're not
okay.
doing it.
That's it.
It was a good
Done.
talk, though. We
All right.
talked it out.
We talked it out. We decided not to do it.
It's great. I'm glad you guys were here for that meeting.
If you want us to do it, then let me know. I'll just make them anyways. Maybe I'll put...
What if you change the logo and you put an actual star and then...
Or maybe I'll do like star...
Like the link chains.
Yeah, like star... Yeah, with a Y instead of an I or something.
Yeah.
Starlink. Or Star Clink. No? I don't know. Something like that. Maybe we'll... All right. We're off topic here. Let's get back to some of these questions.
No, you're down here.
All right. You show me where I am here. I'm losing them. There's like so... Oh, here. Wait. I didn't answer this one here. When is the current equipment? Okay, we went to that. To the obsolete. Yes. All right. The rate. We got to that.
You're past this.
All right. Here we go. Let's see. Once again, Anthony, thank you so much. Let's see. That's a good question. Phil, what did Phil say? New sets only work in America. No. So the question Phil had is, will these new satellites only work in America? Absolutely not. These satellites are traveling at 17,000 miles per hour around the Earth, and they work everywhere on the planet that they're allowed to work. And even in some places where they're not allowed to work, of course, Elon comes up with global roaming. So if you get global roaming for like $200 a month, you can take your service from the US and like go to like, I don't know, someplace like that doesn't currently have it, and you'll have it. So take that for whatever it's worth. So I would imagine, yeah, the satellites will definitely work all around the world. But if you have this global roaming service, it'll actually work. Not only can you see them and they are there, and you can actually use them, which is even more nuts. So I don't know. It must be a way for him to get around some of the,
I'm sure he has a lot of ways to get around a lot of things.
Yeah. He's definitely a smart guy for sure. Let's see, what do we have here? We're getting a lot of drops in Alaska. I can imagine that, especially because of your latency. How far away, your pops are, how far away there's a lot of issues. And then how many birds you have, birds meaning satellites, flying overhead. That's going to be an issue too. Let's see, just paid $110 for March 2nd. That's good. They're saying April is when this will be implemented. So we're going to see if it really goes through. I didn't tell you guys, wink, wink, to write into them and complain and bitch and moan about the increase. Okay, don't do it. Okay, don't do it, because I told you not to do it the last time when it came to the other issue, and for some reason that issue got postponed with the whole data cap, right? There was a lot of blowback when it comes to this data cap, and a ton of people wrote in, and they pushed that data cap back from November to January to February, so on and so forth. Now it's supposed to be pushed back to, I don't know, maybe April 22nd, 24th. I don't know. We'll see if all this. So April is going to be a very big month, all right, for data cap, for price increases and everything. Supposedly these price increases are steadfast. They're going through. But someone wrote in, and someone internal to SpaceX Starlink said that it wasn't 100% yet. And they even referred to that price increase as the same as with that data cap. So that means that if we bitch and moan enough, it might not happen. So do with that what you will. Let me see here. Oh geez. Oh God, this
why do you have to scroll
it
like
popped
that?
up like that. I didn't do it.
Wow.
Let me see.
This is the crazy bird.
Where is that?
Pájaro loco.
I'm willing to give Elon some slack, but he needs to reciprocate. I agree. The way I would like to see Elon reciprocate is to actually have a means to contact someone. I don't care if it's a 24-hour chat button. I don't care if it's email, direct email, right? I don't care if it's a phone number. I don't care what it is, but some means of communication besides a damn trouble ticket. And just in a video I did, I think 2 videos ago, or maybe the last video, I showed you guys exactly how to send in a trouble ticket. And you would think that you can just go to SpaceX's, Starlink.com and just go to comment and just go in there or whatever and send in a question or whatever. You can't do it. So it's like, if you guys don't know it, watch that video. I show you exactly how to do it. And it's stupid, and only people that actually have accounts can do it that way. It has to do with thumbs ups and thumbs downs, and you have to hit a thumbs down, and then you have to do this, and you have to do the hokey pokey.
I am like old school.
Just get on the damn phone, right?
Yeah, I'm so sick of that. You work hard for your money. So if you're spending money on a product, I want to talk to a human. I don't want to press 1. I don't want to press 3 or 6. I don't want to do an emoji. I don't want to do a thumbs down. I want to talk to someone. I don't know what's happened with that whole issue, not just with Elon, but with all the companies. It's such a cop-out. It's horrible. There's no more customer service, and you're paying for service.
And then
that's my rant.
And then one of the things that I said too is, if you do get someone on the phone, right, or however, let them at least speak your language. So if you are in America, then have them speak English. If you are in any of South America, let them speak Spanish.
Right.
Have a good, decent communication between people.
Especially when it comes to technology.
It's so important.
So hard.
I mean, and I've been in the technology field for so long, and the majority of the people, I mean, I could be working on a Cisco router or server or something, and when you call in, I'm talking to someone in like India somewhere, and with a very heavy accent, and it's very difficult to understand, or in Pakistan or somewhere, and I don't know what the hell they're saying, and it's very difficult, whereas they should pay people in the US, or at least an American-speaking person. The same thing is, like, if you were in Pakistan, let someone speak your language so that you can literally get something done, but they don't do it. They farm everything out to wherever, and then so it's not good.
It translates again to really bad customer service
Yeah.
because you're not getting the best of that product that you're paying for. So it's a double
horrible.
whammy. So if the product's not working, and then you can't get someone to help you to get the problem fixed.
If you guys have a question, don't forget to put a Q before your comment, right? So if you put in a question and I'm kind of missing it, definitely put the question in again, but put a Q before it, and then it'll be able to pop up a lot easier. I'll be able to see it a lot easier. Let's see. Scott says I paid $53 a month for unlimited cable broadband. That's 1 gig down and 100 up. Scott, I hate you. So, I mean, that's just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the way it should be. These numbers, like, hundreds of dollars for internet it's just BS. I mean, it's just simply BS. We have family members that are all over the world, right? From Puerto Rico to Germany to Sicily to wherever. They all have better internet than we do sitting here, right, in our hometown. It is ridiculous, absolutely just ridiculous. And the problem is a lot of people in the U.S. have this notion that the U.S. is the best.
Right.
We're just the greatest. And this is the rhetoric that you hear, it's like that constant push. And then the truth of the matter is internet in the U.S. sucks, by far sucks in comparison to Europe, for example. In Europe, the majority of the people, I have family members that are sitting in a mountain getting fiber, one up, one down. All right. That's a gig up, gig down in a mountain.
Well,
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I was in Israel in the summer, and my phone was at 3G.
Right.
And I was okay.
And it actually worked, though.
If the only way I could get around Israel was with the Google Maps, and Google Map knew where I was.
If you got 3G here, you could just forget it. We came and get 4G.
I mean, I was talking to you, and I'd be like, my phone is saying 3G, and it's like actually working.
I wonder if it's really. It could be. It's the majority of these places now are 5G, and they really are
but
real 5G.
But that's another thing, though. It's such a baloney, because they even here, you have full bars, you're 5G. It doesn't mean anything because it's not working. It's not working. We know better than that. It's not working.
Yeah. Let's see. What did Arnie say here? He said, did not know that the FCC awarded Elon Musk SpaceX with $885.5 million worth of federal subsidies to support rural broadband customers through the company's Starlink satellite network. That was in 2020. Thank you very much, Arnie, for looking that up. That is absolutely the case. So it was just under the $1 billion mark or whatever. He did put in a request for more money, and he didn't get it. And I remember doing a video where I requested, I'm like, put out there, just give him as much support as possible, because when he gets this money, like I said before, we are seeing some of it because we are getting service where these other companies that get the money are doing nothing.
And they have been doing nothing for years.
For decades.
For
for well over 10 years. Like I said, coming soon.
Right.
We're coming soon now in 13 years. Yeah. It's a joke. Let's see.
I'll never forget the AT&T logo. Do you remember the song? I'm still waiting. Reach out and touch someone.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
We're still waiting for them to reach out.
I'm waiting for them to touch someone. They haven't touched me. But I'm on the list. They're going to touch me one day.
Well,
I'll be dead. They'll be like, hey, I'll be dead in a coffin. Like, you got fiber now. Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's outdated, but you have it.
Yeah, well, you got it. That's great. Let's
carrier
see.
Pigeons.
Yeah, carrier pigeons. The tech is more resistant to government eavesdropping. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's one of the reasons, talking about the eavesdropping and the whole the carrier pigeon stuff. But that's one of the reasons why I use a VPN. Recently I've been using the PureVPN. There's been other VPN companies that I've used in the past, but we've been using VPNs for a while. Because number one, there's a lot of cool things that you can do with it, but besides that, it's just more secure.
Privacy.
It's
and
privacy.
Everyone nowadays is so nosy.
Yeah, and they know everything. Just having your phone with you. I mean, just try it yourself. Have your phone off like this and say something like, red Mustang. I would love to buy a red Mustang. Right?
Give it about 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes. You know, I'll go on to YouTube or whatever. I'm like, oh, look at these car commercials. Look at how many car. Oh, there's a Ford
But
commercial.
why are you saying that they're not listening?
That they're not listening. Literally with the phone
There's
off.
an emoji for that. They're not
Yeah,
listening.
they're not. They're not. They are. Let's see here. I heard 100,000 on the Starlink and okay, 100,000. What is that on the Starlink in
Australia.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. CenturyLink is the worst. Probably, I wouldn't doubt it. I've heard so many bad things about them. Australia just 450. Well, 2 months free. That's not too bad. You know, if you can get Starlink, even at 450, I got Starlink at $499. It's now $599 US. It has gone up $100, but I mean, if you can get it, and you have any other service that is not fat cable, or as I call it, fat cable, it's actually Comcast or any of the cable
Right.
companies, or fiber, anything else, get it. It's definitely worth it for sure. Even now with the slowdowns, it's still better than Viasat and HughesNet and all the rest of those geocentric satellite services. Let's see what else we hear. We have
J Mac, it's okay. I'm glad you're here. It says no notification.
so yeah, JMac.
You didn't tell nobody?
It's how it is, you know. So YouTube just they do stuff that you know
They're shady.
it's shit sometimes it is. So like I tell you guys all the time, you'll hear me in every video. Click this little button over here, the notification button, and after you click the notification button, click all, so you get all of my notifications, right? So when I go live,
subscribe, click,
subscribe, do all
things.
that crap,
Yeah.
right? The thing is even when you do it, just like you're saying here, no notification. Why? Why YouTube?
Yeah.
Why? It is the most annoying thing. And, you know, I'm not going to get into it in this video. Maybe I'll make a whole video on this and give you some hard data. Maybe I shouldn't.
No, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, but
Then you'll
everything
really get
listening,
no
then I'm screwed for
notifications.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to tell you guys anything. All right, so yeah, I'm sorry you didn't get notified. It's horrible, but still, click that notification button. You know, subscribe, but then click all.
Yeah.
It's helpful. Doesn't
But we're
always
glad
work.
you made it. Later not. Hey, you're
exactly. All right, where did I go?
here. You went.
Did I go too far?
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Right around
Yeah.
here. Montana, rate went down to 90. Thank God. Because
That's
Montana is in the middle of nowhere and it is in the light blue area. Fantastic. That I like to hear. Thank you, Ryan, for that. Let's see. Scott. Oh, he's writing over to Scott. Richard.
You could be Elon's Alfred.
Where did you say this?
Right here.
Oh, you could be Elon's.
great.
Yeah. Maybe kind of like a Batman and like. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know. I know he's not listening. Are you listening?
Someone's listening.
Someone's listening. Yeah. Only when I say something that's going to adversely affect their data
people.
center. Yeah, their call center.
The customers.
Yeah. Then for some reason they're listening quickly. I don't know. But the rest, not so much. Yeah, I love that. Could be Alfred. Let's see. Heavy cables, heat sink. Heavy cables is definitely the way to go. Arnie says, I have a question for all the chat. Are you Starlink now? Yeah, so that's a good question, Arnie. Are you on Starlink right now? There's a lot of people. I haven't seen one photo or video question in this entire, in this whole litany here. It's all Starlink. So yeah, are you on Starlink? If you are on Starlink, has your speed went up? Has it gone down? Also, has your price went up? Has it gone down? Has your cables melted? You know, what's going on with your Starlink if you have one?
Someone said we should do the. Chaplain said we should do the shirts. I don't know.
Should we do a
my wheels
shirt?
are turning here.
So what is this shirt going to say?
I don't
All
know.
right. In the chat window, what
Okay,
should
I think that we should have a star with the link chains on it. Get it?
So,
'Cause
right,
You're
so it'd be a
kinda linked
star-
to Starlink because
star with links and then it
Right.
says tech support, right?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, you know, I'm not going to call out anyone, okay? But I sent a question, a comment from you guys, one of you guys, and it was 4 iPhone pages long. It was about this long. But I get a lot of those, and I don't mind them. It's hard for me to read them and then go through all of them. What I'm telling people is that if they need like if they need my help, like consulting, and you have a big project, ask me. All right. I can't do it for free because, obviously we have kids and we got to pay the bills, right? But I will help out. I've helped out some other people already in this, like this. So let me know, if you have a church, you have a hotel, you have, whatever you're doing and you need some consultation, all right? Even how to do it, what to do, what not to do, let me know and, we can work something out. Because some of these questions I have the answers to, but there's no way for me to answer them in the comments, all right? Because it would literally be as long as your question,
And to be
the
fair,
answer would be that
it's a
long.
lot of work and time.
It's a lot.
It's not just something that, hey, let me just, that's not how it works. So,
It's a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot. I know. Mr. Smith, thank you so much for that. Thank you very
Mr. Smith.
much.
I love that movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That's one of my favorites.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Is there a Mrs. Smith?
You could be Mr. Smith.
Why
And
do
I'll
I
be-
have to be Mr. Smith?
I don't know because I'm not Mr. Smith.
He's Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I appreciate that. That is really nice. Thanks for supporting the channel. That's awesome. All right, so where are we? I'm missing. Where did we leave
Well,
off?
You're
Hold on.
scrolling too much.
All right, I will stop scrolling. All right, where did we leave off?
You were right around here.
Oh, right here. Definitely do the shirts.
Yeah, we went off.
Yes,
got a
we
little
went off.
Carried away. It's Saturday
Okay.
night.
I know. So let's see. Got a bill for $90. That's awesome. Another drop. That's good.
Here's a
Tasmania.
question.
Here we go. All
From
right. This is Energy Technology says, when I do speed tests, I always show lower than, for example, software update. So I'll get into that in just a second. Hold on. A Microsoft or Apple firmware update and a peak of 350 megabits per second plus, no matter what time of day. So what's interesting with the speed thing, I get different speeds too. From machine to machine, from Apple to PC. I get different speeds when I open up the Starlink app. I get different speeds when I go into the Starlink router, but from my web page. I don't know. It's like sometimes I wonder if they're like accurate or close to accurate. So I don't know what that is.
Do you think it has to do because it's a different, I guess, program because they're different?
I don't know. It could be the difference between minute to minute to minute. Remember, the satellites are moving at 17,000 miles per hour. Okay, and
That's kind of fast.
they're going pretty quick, right? So as they come by, right, you are connected to a satellite, all right, and as it comes by, it lets go of that satellite and it picks up the next one. So when it does that handshake, let's call it, from one satellite to the next satellite, there is an interruption. Sometimes it's a
shift.
small,
Like you're passing the baton.
you're passing that baton. You're running the race, you're passing the baton.
That makes sense.
When you pass the baton, there is a slight,
So it would have to kind of reconnect, right?
it does kind of, and it just shifts, right? So sometimes that happens. And then other times what happens is it doesn't have anything else to connect to that's close. And now, instead of connecting to one that's overhead that's moving out, it's connecting to one that's farther away from you. And now literally within minute to minute, you go from very fast speeds where it's right overhead to now you're connecting to one that's much further away, and now your speeds are
So-
slower. So
Why wouldn't it connect to the next consecutive one? It would
Because-
just jump to maybe another
So
one.
the way they come by is like one is coming by, let's say at this angle, another one is coming by like at this angle, one is all the way up here, and we're down here. So the ones that go over us, we get a quick connection, let's say,
Okay.
back down to our POP or our ground station. Whereas if we have to connect to, let's say, we're in West Palm, we have to connect to a satellite that's heading over, let's say, Jacksonville, that's a far haul, right?
Okay,
It's a
yeah.
lot. So moving from one to another, you're going to get this variation. And I think that is going to be cured by simply having more satellites up there. Right now, there's like 3,700. He's looking at possibly 43,000 total, but he just got authorization from the FCC for 7,500 more.
Wow.
So that's a lot. So if we go from that 35, let's say 100, then we're 75, we're going to be at 10,000 once he gets that allocation completed. And those are minis that he's putting up there right now, version 2s. Once they're the full size ones, I predict we're going to see full size going up on that Starship, the big rocket, probably, I want to say second quarter this year. Don't hold me to it, but I feel like they should be able to do it by then. All right. So once that happens, there's going to be a major shift. Okay. And I don't think they're going to need to worry about data caps. And I don't think they're going to need to worry about increasing this rate, because they're going to be able to put another million people. They have 1 million now, I think. They'll put another million without having to worry about the overselling, because there's just so much more capacity. So we'll see what ends up happening. Let me know what I missed here. Okay.
Okay, so you just did right
Yeah,
here.
we went through here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Arnie says there are very few satellites above and below the 53rd basically your latitude. Yeah, and that's what ends up happening, and that's why a lot of people that are in Canada are having a harder time, because there's less birds or less satellites flying overhead. Absolutely, 100%.
This is a good one.
This one right here, Harmony. Let's see. How do we contact Starlink? Holy crap. I tried calling a number I found on the internet. Don't do that, because they're usually not real. Let's see. I found, let me see. Yeah, I found internet, blah, blah, blah. It's some higher education thing where they help some educators, blah, 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 blah. And unsuccessful in getting, okay. So don't call any number. There is no number. Don't try to email any kind of email thing that it seems like it might be real. If someone calls you, be very leery. People do not have access to Starlink's technical support besides going through trouble tickets, period. But I did find an email address, and I'm going to make a video and I'm going to tell you guys about this. I don't have it with me right this second, but there is an email address that you can send to SpaceX Starlink. And that email address is for people that currently do not have an account with Starlink, or they are currently having a problem with their account, meaning they can't get in. Let's say they're blocked, they're locked out because they don't know their password. There is an email address, and I'm going to get that to you guys come like Monday or something. I have it written down somewhere. I don't know where it is right now, but hold me to it, and I will definitely do that. All right, what else we got here? Like I said, definitely don't call any numbers. There isn't any. Let's see, ads running in Canada. Okay, yeah. I can't believe there's ads running in Canada for Starlink. We don't got none of that here.
I don't
Not too many
remember us
Starlink
ever
customers
getting any of
in Antarctica. No, not yet. A Tesla Wi-Fi update over Starlink push 100 megabits. Wow. So I don't think Tesla doesn't get throttled. Yeah, Tesla's not going to get there's no throttling there for sure. I mean, so when I was in beta, there was no throttling, and I was, like I said, I was getting 310, I think, down. And now we're lucky to get, what do we get, 100? So sometimes I'll see 200 megs down even now, but it's just for a rare instance, and then it just, I don't know, and it goes back down to 100 or less. Let's see. Oscar says, I was charged $90. Congratulations. He's in Alaska. That's awesome. Anthony says he's New Brunswick, Canada, near wherever this is. I'm not sure where you are.
Calais, Maine.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that is, but that's good. You're new. That's fantastic. If like I said, if you can get Starlink, and you're normally getting simply geocentric type of coverage, which would be like Viasat or HughesNet,
Right.
Just get it. I mean, just pay it. I know it's not cheap.
Something is better than nothing.
And plus, it's so much better than the rest. It's crazy. I hate the modern way of customer service. Yeah, it's pretty much it's crap. Let's see. You start speaking issues. Ask about reaching out to customer service. All right. Anything else is popping up here? Let me know. Here's 100 plus. I'll let you look through this. I just want to say one other thing. When you see another question, let me know. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys is I did a video I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago, and I was talking about the issue where you couldn't, I guess, get in contact with SpaceX Starlink, and I did that whole video about that. Definitely look at that. If you haven't, if you just came on just now or recently live, go into my archive, go over to the SpaceX Starlink playlist. It's about 2 videos ago, maybe the last video. I actually show you how to contact SpaceX Starlink using their trouble tickets. So don't miss out on that, because it's very helpful. And a lot of people have been asking me for the exact same thing over and over and over. That's why I made that video. So check that out. All right.
I love this, that you guys share information with each other. Also, there was a question from JMac. What would you think about a rural resident access protection bill? Would it require service providers to put sole dependent upon satellite connection for internet at top priority service?
I think that would, JMac, I think that would be beautiful, okay? Because we've said this forever, right? You have your digital divide where you have your haves and your have-nots, right? Where you have the people that actually have high-speed internet access, the people that don't. And in 2023, there should be no one that doesn't have high-speed internet access. And the way I look at it is that if you cannot have high-speed internet access because they can't get the physical fiber to you, fine. These companies like AT&T and Verizon and T-Mobile and all the rest of them have been getting a crap ton of money as subsidies to be able to get higher speed or high speed internet access to the masses. Fine. Have them be able to, let's say, get that 5G signal to the rural areas.
Right.
Because as of right now, even if I go into the city, T-Mobile, who says they have like this unbelievable 5G, it is trash. So you get an amazing download speed of 100, 200 megabits down, right? And then their upload speed is like 0.7, not even 1 megabit, or 1.5, 2.0. Pathetic. That is pathetic. That's not 5G. That's BS. Right? So this is what they do. They talk about what they are giving the people, and the truth of the matter, they're not. So yeah, having some type of bill that mandates it, I think that would be glorious, because now all of a sudden everyone will actually be able to enjoy high speed, especially in 2023. I mean, come on. It's literally the service that we see at my location if we didn't have Starlink would be Uverse. And Uverse currently here is 15 megs down and 1.5 megs up. Okay? And that's with a bonded pair. I have 2 lines that come in that are bonded just to get 15 by 1.5. Can you believe that?
That was a struggle to get that.
That was a struggle. So before that, it would be like 7 megs down and like 0.7 megs up. I mean, this is literally like back in like the 80s with like a 5600 baud modem, like a bing, 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 I mean, that's literally what we're at in 2023. It's nonsense. Yeah. A bill. I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there. Definitely.
I left it
I
perfect
touched something.
for you.
You do it.
Right here.
Oh, here we go.
No, wait. You really like.
There we go. That one right here. The double Q.
Where's the double Q?
Right up there. That one right there. Thanks for putting through all of these questions. This is awesome. There's a lot of questions that are in here. That's harmonies right there. Yep.
Yeah, you did that one.
Yep, we did that. Then underneath that.
Right here.
There we go. How about you, JC? Are you on Starlink for this live cast? Tom, that is a great question. Yes, I am on Starlink.
Yes.
And let me see.
And I just started us because I forgot and we weren't sure we were going to do this tonight, but I just started us on Instagram Live too.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So we're live on Instagram and we're live through Starlink on Instagram as well as on YouTube. So yeah, Tom, it's it's stable. You guys let me know. Do we turn into a Minecraft character? Where we're all pixelated, or do we not? Are we okay? Let me know, because yes, this is 100% Starlink. I do have a failover, so if everything went down right now, it would flip over to AT&T, and then it would be bad, but we'd still be online. So just bear that in mind. But right now we are on Starlink. What was the next one here?
Oh, someone put.
Once again, put a Q before your questions so that we can see it. It's
I mean,
easier
we're
that
kind
way.
of reading everything anyways.
Yeah, we're trying to
but,
go through all of it. Absolutely.
Pajaro Loco said Starlink support with a broken chain. Oh, for the shirt.
Starlink support with the broken chain?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that.
Starlink support with the broken chain. Thank you very much for that. Maybe we'll do it. I think that would be the funniest ass thing because, okay, honestly, this channel, which has always been tech, photo, and video. I mean, I cut my teeth doing a lot of Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord series. People love that. I taught you guys how to break free of Adobe. I did a whole playlist. Check that out. So you're not paying every month, okay? So I did that. But all of a sudden, once I started talking about Starlink, people just, really enjoyed it. They loved it.
Because there's no one to talk to.
There's no one to talk to,
support.
right.
It's like, even with technology today, I mean, iPhone doesn't come with a manual. You're just kind of figuring things out or learning from other people. So that's where you filled that void. And because you have the education, the background from many years ago, before all this technology has gotten to where it is today, you really understand the nitty gritty of it, the beginnings of it. A lot of people today in technology, they know technology, but they don't know like
the core.
Right, like old school stuff, how things started. The same thing with photography. People will know all this photography, this high res, all this stuff, but they don't even know how to develop film in a darkroom. They don't know how that works.
They don't know the old school side. Yeah.
Right. So it's great to know new school, but really know new school, you should really know old school.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that because I have like an administrative type of background, system administrator, working on, servers and working on route. Matter of fact, that's why I wrote that book back here. If you see that, it says how to create a digital Fort Knox backing up your digital life. Oh, yeah. It was a way for me to teach you guys, like I ended up doing, creating a RAID server. It's an unRAID server. And I wrote a book on my process so that you guys can do the exact same thing. But it's that kind of thing. I've always been very, I love tech. So, but Starlink has just been one of those things that all of a sudden it's like a lot of you guys want to know about it. So I'm like, I tried giving you as much. And as I'm learning, so this channel, okay. So what I was alluding to, I feel like this channel has become technical support. Not me, but like all of us. Because like, I don't know it all, but they know.
You've created a community.
Yeah, and the community really, like, so when I get something wrong, you guys call me out on it. Matter of fact, that address that I'm going to share on Monday, one of you guys sent it in to me. I hope I can find it and then I can give you credit for it. But, this type of thing. So we are helping each other. It's not like, I've always said it's like, I'm not like a talking head here that just like some guru or something. This is like a back and forth.
You're like a talking head.
I do sometimes. I got a big head. And I'm further away. I probably look better back here instead of like all stuck.
You are kind of wide.
Oh, God. All right. You look for questions here.
Thank you. Yes, remember to smash the like button and notifications.
Yes, please do that. Philip Dow, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. And I will go back up.
Really fast.
And Steve Carpenter, thank you. Thank you for your support. Says thank you for giving us top of the address. In fact, yes, thank you.
Okay, right here.
All right, back over here. Question from, who is it? Oh, right here, this one? Yeah, dedicated here. There's also a dedicated NIC using built into CPU. So depending on hardware speed views, one computer may switch packets together. Yeah, so that's the technical side. Yes, absolutely. And one of the issues too that people, I don't want to get too deep into this, but even when you do failover and you do load balancing, there's issues too with that with sessions. And there is problems with sessions where if you're doing, let's say if you're doing a live stream and now it cuts out and goes from Starlink over to, let's say, AT&T, that session breaks and then it's hard for it to pick back up. And in some instances, for example, if you're doing banking, if it breaks and it switches sessions and you go to it'll send you out and be like, no, you have to log back in. So there's a lot of issues that, matter of fact, one of the people that I had a meeting with has a solution for that. And if all goes well, maybe by April, I'll let you know what that solution is. And I'm really excited about it, but I'm not going to talk about it until I've actually tested myself and I know that it works. And if it does, I'm going to be sharing it with you guys like happily. And that will fix a lot of things. So anyways, that's like a little preview, okay? Just for you guys being on this live here. So let me see, 14 megabits, 10, all right, average. Here's one. Carl says, I have an issue with snow buildup on my dish. I keep covering it. So, all right, so the thing is it depends on what you cover it with. Try not to cover it, because if you cover the dish, you can end up with slow speeds. You can also end up with other issues depending on what you're covering it with. The best thing to do is literally turn those heaters on manually, let them melt, take the snow off, that kind of thing. And don't leave it on auto, because if it's on all the time, you're going to melt your cables, because we've seen it happen already. So yeah, it is a problem. All right. It is a problem. They are working on it, and I'll probably talk about it next week, but they have a new dish, a micro dish that they're coming out with. It's smaller, and I just don't know how this is going to work out. Supposedly, it's going to be as good as the bigger ones. I don't know what they're doing, if they're doubling up on that array. I don't know. But that might have, there might be a positive effect on snow with that too. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll let you guys know as I figure this all out next week. What else?
Good morning to Peter in Denmark.
In Denmark. How you doing, Denmark? Wow. Peter, that's a
question right here. What kind of realistic speed or service could be expected with Starlink RV set up in a tree-covered area in a low-capacity area?
Okay, so trees are the bane of existence when it comes to Starlink, okay, or any type of satellite service. If you have trees and you have Dish Network or you have DirecTV or something, you're not getting service, okay? It is a line of sight type of service. So in an RV, you need to get away from the trees. That's it. If you were in a home or an office, I would say put the dish on a mast, like a long pole, and you'll be good, right? Because you can see over the trees. When you're in an RV, you're just going to need to get out of the trees. Now, as far as speeds, RV speeds are generally half the speed or they're called basic speed in comparison to their premium speeds, let's say, or their residential speeds. So right now, their speeds are, let's say, 100 meg down. RV, you're going to see probably about 50. Now, that's when it's then when there's like high congestion. And I tell people this all the time. When they ask me, should I get best effort? And that basically is the same thing as like RV, but at your house. Yes, get it. Because even if the speeds are supposed to be 50, let's say they're supposed to be slower, if there is no congestion, you're still going to get 100. Okay? So get it anyways. And then once you can move from best effort to your residential or business, do it as soon as you can. So figure on speeds about 50. It could get as high as 100. I just saw someone that had an RV. I don't know if they were in this country or where they were, that were like over 100 or 200 megabits. So it really depends on the congestion. If you're in an area that's not congested, you should get some really good damn speeds, right? Let's see. Larry says, will I get a reduction from my present $120? Been with Starlink for a week. 8 home outside the exit. Okay. So, if you are in a light blue area, now I showed you guys this, and if you guys are just getting here, let me switch over to this. This is what the map looks like. So if you are in this light blue area, you should see a reduction to about $90. If you're in the dark blue area, this is congested, or as they call it, waiting list area, you're going to see an increase to $120.
And that has to do with?
That just has to do with them just not being able to service the greater amount of people that are in those areas. The problem is it's not just,
fair.
It's not apples to apples kind of
Right.
thing. So you don't know. I mean, some people are in the light blue area and they're getting increases,
Right.
So if you're in a light blue area and you're getting an increase, take a picture of that screen, take a screenshot, send it in and say, please reduce my rate, because according to this picture, I'm in a area that is available, that has plenty of service, and I should be getting it for $90. But according to that poll that I did, And let me see, where is that poll? Let me see what it's at.
77%
Is it? Let me
increase.
see. Here we go. So according to the poll, this is it. 77% of you guys out of 1,100 and some people, 77% said that their bill is getting increased, 6% decreased, and 17% has not changed. So, you know, that's where we're at. That's what I predicted. I said it's going to be over 70%, and that's basically what it is. You know, I hate to say it, but it kind of is. Let me see. Peter says 56K modem. Yeah, that.
Yeah. Image is good. JMag, aren't they a fantastic couple? Thanks.
Oh my God! Thank you guys.
Have you ever? Okay.
Oh, there we
Ian.
go. Yeah, Ian says, have you ever heard of PFSense? It allows you to turn your PC into a router. Yes. So I have used PFSense in a router form, right, where you get a router and you have PFSense installed in it. I've also used it in a server form. Okay. PFSense is good, but it has still problems with sessions. And like I was telling you guys before, with sessions, it doesn't work as well as it should. Okay, so when you're moving, load balancing is okay, but still, it's still session based. Now, there is some code, some hacked code to get PFSense. I'm going to get it.
He's going into the nerdery.
All right, so I'm going to go into the nerdery for a second on PFSense. So there is some code that you could put into the back end of it to make it work kind of, sort of. Okay, it's kind of like glitching it, right? Kind of getting it to work. It's like band-aiding it, but it's just not fixed yet. And it's been like this for like over a year. So do I see PFSense working soon well, or the way I want it to? No. I wish it would. I did test it. I did a video on it. You can see it back in the archives, Starlink playlist. What do we miss here? Right. Here we go. What failback router did you eventually decide on? So right now I'm using, what am I using right now? God. I'm testing right now a PepLink 20X, and I'm using a I don't know. One of the other ones. Matter of fact, I'll find it. I'll let you guys know. And it's working really well. It's working really well. Let me find that. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this over here.
Didn't you just order a router for inside the house too?
Yeah, I did. That one blew up. So yeah, but that's
for
not
some
this.
reason,
He wants
yeah.
to know what the one that we're
Okay.
using here for this. So look through these, and
Okay.
I'm going to come into here, and I'm going to see if I can find this for them real quick. Which one I'm currently using. It's the UTT. That's it. Matter of fact, I'll put the link. I'm going to copy and paste it into here. Guys, there you go. So I just threw it into the chat window. That is the one. I'm going to scroll down, make sure it went in. Yep. All right, let me pull this back over. So that's the one that I'm currently using. Okay, so that is the UTT. It is very cheap, and it works. And it works well. Is it perfect? No. But for the price, it's probably one of the better ones for value, let's say, what you're getting out of it. Now, I've tried UTT, I've tried PepLink. Netgate was the one that was the PFSense. It was by Netgate. I returned that one. And then I wouldn't recommend them ever. So, you know, I don't usually say anything nasty about any of the stuff that I've tested, but I've tested, I don't even know how many routers. Once again, go look at that videos, look at all those videos. But Netgate, they ended up charging me a restocking fee because I got the unit, used it, and like I said, it didn't work like it was said to have worked, and I would have to hack it to be able to make it work because they use PFSense Plus basically built in, and they ended up charging me a restocking fee for returning it for brand new. Literally just tested it. It didn't work as it was supposed to. So I would not recommend Netgate ever, period. End of story. If you want to use PFSense, don't use them. Download PFSense. You can get it and install it onto your server or do whatever with it. But don't use them. because that's just nasty. You don't do that. If something doesn't work right and someone that is a technician, someone's technical, and they're telling you why it's not working, and then you just say, sorry, we're going to discharge you a restocking fee. Yeah, I don't, that doesn't fly with me. I've tried Ubiquity. I've tried all of the TP Link. The TP links do really well. Matter of fact, my mesh network that I told you guys how to set up was almost solely on TP Link because it was very, let's say, cheap, but a great value. It wasn't cheapy, but it was really good quality for the price. Let's put it that way. So I did that. I tried TrendNet routers. I've tried, I mean, just you name it, right? So the UTT, the one that I put down there, is the one that I'm currently using, and it's doing quite well for what it is. But once again, next month, I might have something even better. So I'll leave it at that. Question, that's this one. We went
Harmony.
to, how about Starlink support? Yeah, so how about Starlink support with the little eye thing? If you guys remember Hogan's Heroes, we're old. Do you remember Hogan's
You're
Heroes?
old. I'm not old.
Shit, I am old. So Colonel,
Don't ever use that word old.
Do you guys remember Colonel Klink? I mean, come on. Let me see. What was it called? Hogan's? I think it was Hogan's Heroes.
You see, you are old. I don't know.
Was it here? Hogan's Heroes? I think it was like
I think it was though.
Klink. Was
Colonel, wasn't
it?
it?
Was it Colonel Klink?
I don't remember.
Hogan's Heroes. Colonel. Let me see. This is the dude. This is the guy. This is the guy. This is the guy. All right, let me switch over here. So this is the dude right here. Hogan's
I'm
Heroes.
surprised people are still awake with us. It's like
I know.
11:30.
Do you see this, guys?
This is the guy.
This is the guy. It's Klink. Anyways, Hogan's Heroes, funniest ass show. It was like a '60s television show. All right, I'm old, but obviously I didn't watch in the '60s, but still I watched it when I was a kid. This was a funny show. Anyways, yeah, maybe it's like Colonel Klink. This is like, I don't know, but yeah, you guys come up with some a good shirt. I'm gonna make
We
it.
have some good ideas.
I'm gonna go through all of it,
Yeah.
and we're gonna come up with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it. I think it'll just be funny.
It would be funny.
But if we get sued, you're gonna pay
How am I gonna pay?
because you're making me do it.
But if I pay, you're paying.
all right, shit.
It's not gonna work out too well.
All right, you guys will pay
we're
if we get
clinked together.
sued. If we get sued, you guys are gonna pay. You're gonna have to send a lot.
You're really gonna have to like put one of those things like click
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do like a GoFundMe.
Yeah, we're clinked.
We're clinked. Yeah, instead we're screwed. We're clinked. Elon suing us. Oh shit, that would be a bad day. Let's see.
For $1 billion trillion.
Yeah, $1 billion, exactly. That's what it'd be. PF Sense, will it work? Phil said, Phil down. So PF Sense does work. PF Sense Plus, I mean, download it and try it for yourself. You need to be techie to use it because it's not going to handhold you in any way, all right? You need to understand networking to be able to use PF Sense properly, okay? I mean, I wouldn't recommend it to someone that doesn't, really understand networking. But it's very powerful, and you can go and download it and test it out for yourself. So it's definitely worth checking into and looking at. But don't buy like a Netgate or something like that where they build it for you, and then, like I said, they don't support it, and then they tell you one thing and it's actually something else. Let's see. Timer on app. So here, Philip Down, thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate that, Phil. It says timer on the app on Starlink now for the heater. Yes, time on. So, okay, Philip, that timer is stupid. Okay, and when he put that timer in there, literally days after, I made a video basically calling it stupid. And the reason being is the timer isn't really for the heater unless they changed it in the new update, which I'm not aware of. Let me know, Philip. But that timer was to put the system into standby mode. And what that would do is basically put it to sleep. And now, yes, your heater isn't running, but your system isn't running either. So you don't even have internet anymore. So that's not the way to fix the problem with the burning up cables. The way to fix it is to get a higher gauge, a thicker gauge cable, right? So go from 20 AWG to like 16 AWG, which is a thicker cable that can handle more watts, more amps, and we don't have a problem anymore. Just send out a new cable, right? It's just so simple. Just don't, they can put a Band-Aid on it by doing a timer. What I said is to do a timer on the heating side of things, not on just putting it to sleep. So did they do that? Let me know, Philip. As of right now, I don't think that they did, but that's what I recommended they did from the very beginning. And what that would do is it would cycle, okay, the heater. So it would turn the heater on for, let's say, 15 minutes, off for 15 minutes, on for 15 minutes, and so on and so forth, so it wouldn't burn out the cables, okay? I don't know if they did it. Let me know. Let's see. How about, which one were you pointing at? This one right here. Been on Starlink for a week. Cost was $120, just outside of blue area. Okay, so yeah. So they did go up to that $120 if you're signing up as of today. So that to me means that most likely everyone's bill, those 77%, according to my poll of 1,100 people, we are going to go up from $110 to $120 on our next bill, sadly. So if for some reason it gets pushed back, maybe they'll give you that $10 back. that would be cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but do people ever give money back?
They don't give money back.
It's not a thing.
They take it and you'll never see it again.
That's it. They're running with it.
That's it. Never will see it again. Sadly, but that's just how it is. Let me see what's going on over here. This is what we got right now here live on here. What is it? Let me scroll down for a second. Let's see. DRM Global, thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate that. Love that. What does he say? You can read this one.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Agree with the other viewer. Love your interaction. Hope you do more of this. JC, thanks for all your advice to help me navigate through SL challenges in the boonies in North Texas. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Texas. Really do appreciate that.
Our daughter's in Texas.
Yes. That's matter of fact. That's where we went and flew off to see our grandbaby.
Yes.
Texas. Wow.
Last weekend.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. Thank you
really
do appreciate that. That's wonderful. Let's see. Right here, Mark says, once again, if you have any questions, put a Q before the question so that they pop out so we see them right away. It says, I have my Starlink on a pole. That's great. Not high enough to get not high enough, and I get obstructions every 1 to 2 minutes. I have 2 bonded DSL. God, I hate that. 2 bonded DSLs as a failover. What hardware can I get to bond my connections? I use you. Okay, so
Can they not put the Starlink on the roof?
All right, so what they're saying is they have extremely tall trees.
Okay.
So even on a pole, it's just not high enough. So the best thing that you can do, honestly, is to get a longer pole and get it as high as you can to be able to get it over those trees. That is really the only way to do it. Now, we have bonded pair DSL. Well, it's called UVerse. It is DSL. If you don't know the difference, I'm going to go into the nerdery for a second. DSL, okay, is a powered line. Okay, the data comes through is actually powered, whereas don't fall asleep. UVerse is a non-powered line, right? So they have gotten rid of DSL in my area and in most areas, and they're changing it over to UVerse. The problem is it's not powered, so it can't go as far. So if you are far away from the D-SLAM, is what it's called, your box, okay, you can't get signal anymore, or your signal gets slower. And that's what happens, and that's why a lot of times that's what happens with us. We're at about 6,700 feet from the D-SLAM, meaning when we had DSL, we didn't have a problem because it's powered. It can get to us. Non-powered UVerse, it's a problem. 6,700 is literally on the edge of getting the connection and not getting the connection. So we ended up having to get a bonded pair. A bonded pair is when you get 2 lines, you link them together, and now they're feeding off each other. Okay. So what you could do here to use for right now until next month, when I have a possible alternative that I can share, I can't yet. But right now I'm using that UTT router. I put that in the chat window. That thing for the price is money. I don't know what else to say. And I've tried, I look at some of my videos. I've tried so many of these routers and it just works really well for the price. Okay. I'm also trying right now a PepLink 20X. That thing is awesome also, but you're going to spend about $500 instead of like 50 to 100. It's a lot. Does it work well? Yes. They have something that's called Fusion, some Speed Fusion or something, where it does the bonding also. So that could be an alternative, but you're spending, like I said, a good chunk. So I would say check out the UTT right now until next month, where I can give you possibly another alternative.
Okay.
What's the next question we have here? Here you go. Will you be making any videos about using DaVinci Resolve? You know, Thor, now listen to this. I was really thinking about doing a series on DaVinci Resolve because I use DaVinci Resolve instead of using Premiere and instead of using Final Cut. I got rid of Final Cut when I moved from Apple to PC, even though I still have Apples around. But Final Cut was awesome until they neutered it and they turned it into a kids program when they went to Final Cut and when they went to Final Cut X and all that. I don't want to get into it, but it's good enough now. But it's, you know, I really liked it before. Then I went to Premiere. And then I said, you know what, enough with this Adobe. They ended up starting doing this, like you have to pay monthly. It's like damn renting a car. You never pay. You pay in perpetuity. Who wants to pay forever? Yeah, so you're leasing software. And then God forbid you don't pay your bill. What do you got?
Nada.
Nada. Exactly. So that being said, DaVinci Resolve is my editor, my NLE of choice. It's awesome. And I'm thinking about doing some videos on it. And let me know if you know, I mean, you want them, but if anyone else does, please let me know in the commentary.
Lock and Load Publishing. What is the name of the screensaver you're using on your Mac behind you?
Oh, cool. That is cool.
Did you forget?
I forgot it was running back there. It's just something that I found on YouTube. So if you look, go to YouTube and search for 4K desktop screensaver or something like that. You'll see it. There's a few of them that I use. I let them run in the background that I really like. But that one is pretty cool, right? Because it's very slow and just, you know, it changes a lot. I like that a lot. But yeah, it's just YouTube. Let's see what else we have here. Hogan's Heroes. Yeah, Lock and Load, Hogan's Heroes. I loved Hogan's Heroes. Man, that was a fun show. That and what was it? Gilligan's Island and all those. Those were like great.
There's a question right there. Ian.
Here we go. Ian says, well, sorry that pfSense didn't work out for you. I like the functionality. Yes, I mean, it has a lot of functionality. I use and include site and VPN between pfSense using Telescale Pack. So, okay, pfSense is one of those pieces of software, all right, that has a ton of functionality, but you need to be, I wouldn't say a network engineer, but you need to understand networks really well. You need to be able to write script, let's say, or write, you know, well, let's say, you know, I don't want to get too technical into it. The bottom line is pfSense can be very, very powerful. And the beauty of it is that you can run it on a server and have multiple lines coming in and be able to use it for basically as many lines as you want, right? It's not like a piece of hardware that has a limitation of, let's say, you know, these ports can only do LAN and these ports can only do WAN and these ports can do WAN and LAN. And there's, you know what I mean? And they have all of these limitations, right? Whereas here, when you use pfSense Plus, whatever, on your own server, you can add NICs in all you want. You can do whatever you want. So there's a lot you can do with it, but you really need to know what you're doing with it. If not, and that's why I don't recommend it for the majority of the people, because they don't have the knowledge to be able to do it. And they will start playing with it. They're going to get aggravated and they're going to chuck it, you know? So, and when I started testing out pfSense, with Netgate, I was testing it out as a non-network type of person and said, well, can we just use this out of the box? And the way they said that it would work is not the way it would work. And there had to be a lot of scripting that had to go behind the scenes to be able to get it to work, especially when it comes to different sessions and being able to let go of the session in a specific amount of time. It got into a whole big thing. Anyways, pfSense is very powerful. It is very powerful.
Honey.
Where do we see here? Honey Badger says, how long does the heater need to be on consistently? Okay, in order to burn. Okay, so there is no time on how long that the heater needs to be on. Bear in mind, it's not a heater. Okay, what it's doing is it's just giving more amps and more watts to the unit, and that's heating up the unit and melting the snow off it. So they never said how long it's going to take until it melts, because they don't want to admit that the cables are melting, but they're melting, right? So, you know, it kind of is what it is. Turn it on and off. That's the best way to do it if you have a problem.
Arnie.
Right here, Arnie says, what do you think about paying a fee to talk to tech support person live? I think Apple does. You know, I think, Arnie, it's a good idea. I mean, if it's a money issue, you know, and people need help, they're going to pay for the help. I mean, that's simply it. Yeah. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I think
it's a bad idea.
I just think that you're going to piss people off, right?
Yeah, because you pay enough for the technology, the product. The
Right.
same thing with Apple. I mean, I'm sorry, some people just think that, I don't know, money grows on trees, but it does not. And these things cost a lot of money. So I'm buying your product, and most of us are also upgrading our products from these companies continuously. If your stuff isn't working properly, why should I have to pay you more money for you to help me to fix it? That's wrong.
That's true.
It's greedy.
It's greedy. And matter of fact, that's one of the points of contention that a lot of the folks had, was not just the service part, not just the customer service part,
Right.
but also the service part.
Right.
We're now paying $120 per month, but our service
Has
is getting
gone down. Right.
lower.
Right.
So price is going up, service is going down. You know, that's not.
It's just greed.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to start losing people. You can't do that.
Well, and the problem too, though, the reason they get away with it is because there aren't enough competitors for some of these companies. So we're kind of stuck, you know, in the middle sometimes.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, there is no competitor currently for Starlink,
Well, obviously,
right? The ones that
but,
are
you know,
competitors are horrible.
Right.
I mean, they're.
And that's why they have you the way they do.
Yeah.
But, you know, talking in general about other things, that's the issue. You are paying a lot of money for
Yeah.
service, and you're going to continually keep this service. So why should I have to pay in addition to get help if your
No, that's
product's
true.
not even working properly?
Yeah, and it's the same thing that holds true when it comes to mobility, right? I mean, there is a triopoly out there, right? You have like what? AT&T, you have Verizon and T-Mobile, and then you have all the rest of them, right? So there's not that many of them, but they're all in cahoots together. Like, hey, yeah, bud, yeah, we're going up $5. All right, no problem. You know, we're going to go up 10.
We'll do it
okay?
this week.
We're gonna-
You'll do it next week.
Yeah, it's just all BS. I mean, they are a monopoly. Like anyone that has a phone today and has a family, we're paying like close to $200 a month. That is insanity to have, you know, 2 or 3 of these. It shouldn't cost $200 a month. And the reason it costs that is because we're willing to pay it. I always say that the maximum that anyone or any company can get for any service or any product is the maximum that any person or any customer is willing to pay. And if we weren't, weren't willing to pay $200, they're not going to be able to sell it for that. The same thing holds true with the phones, right? Now these damn things, they were like $300, $500, whatever. Now we're up to like $1,500, $1,300, $1,400. That's ludicrousy that a phone costs that kind of money. It's ridiculous. And what are they doing? They're increasing almost all of them. They're making the photos better. They're giving you a better camera. For the most part, yeah, they're making it faster processor and all the rest of the crap. But the bottom line is they're selling these things, they're upgrading them based on the camera. The next thing you know it, instead of having like 2 or 3, lenses on the back, you're going to see just like 18 lenses down the entire phone. You'll be like, look at ours. We got 18 lenses.
I'll be impressed when it can load the dishes.
Yeah.
Unload them for me.
That'd be kind of nice too. Phil Down, thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate that. It says you're correct on the heater. Missed your video on it. Sorry. Yeah, no problem. Take a look at that SpaceX Starlink playlist. I think I have 126, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Over 120 Starlink videos in there. So check that out. There is a lot. Let's see. Jeff says, comment on Chinese threat to Starlink. If China wants to adversely affect Elon, they can. The bottom line is they can. Now, the thing is that there's so many satellites already out there that it's very hard to affect the mass. They can affect a few, and the same thing that Russia does is they scramble the signal. They can do that with the whole battle over there in the Ukraine, the war. So yes, they can do that, but they can only do it for certain satellites. You can't do it for the 3,700 of them. Now, China is going to supposedly launch up to 10,000 of their own. And they're saying they're going to start like 2024. I don't know. They're going to start sometime soon to be a direct competitor with SpaceX Starlink. Why? Because they see what's going on with his and they don't like it because technically he can spy military, let's say, with their undisclosed payloads, okay, can spy on them, and there's not too much they can do about it. They can jam them and stuff like that, but they know that there's so many of them, it makes it very difficult, right? So what I see that the new version 2's minis on board, they have that blue, what is it called? Blue HAL something. It's like a new thruster or something on them so that they can move out of the way quickly. Okay. So just, you can figure out what that means. Okay. I think they're going to be, those thrusters are to move out of the way of space debris, but maybe move out of the way of other stuff. All right. I'll let your mind work at that. But all of the new version 2s have these new thrusters on them, okay, that are much more powerful. So let me see, Black Sheep Squadron. Yeah, exactly. That was an old one. I would love to see videos on DaVinci Resolve. All right, we'll put something together here. Let's see, anything else coming down here?
Hi, Trevor.
Is Trevor on here? He is. How are you doing, Trevor? Last time you were on.
Yeah.
And now she's here.
She.
Let me see here. What else we have here? 1.6, okay. Price from rights, okay. Failover route. All right. And how about this one here?
Oh.
Here we go. If I buy an upgrade service and I'm already a Starlink customer,
That's a good one.
do I still need to buy the equipment again for Starlink? So, the way Starlink does it is that, like, for example, if you have residential, or let's do it backwards. If you have RV and you want residential, you have to buy a new package for it. If you want a business package, okay, they send you a business, which is a larger dish. So you're paying for that dish. It's $2,500, I think. And then you pay $500 a month. So you're increasing your price for the actual equipment. You're increasing your price for the dish. So it really depends on what you're trying to do with it. But you can buy the bigger dish and use it on a residential service too at your $120. And then you'll have better service. But you're paying $2,500 for that dish. Do you want to do that? That's kind of, that's a hard one. And that really is up to you and how much, cash you have laying around to spend on a new dish. We're going to close this down very soon, like maybe about 5 more minutes. 5 minutes good? Yeah. Okay. 5 more minutes. Any last questions? Put them in here. Put a Q next to the question. We'll answer them. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. Yeah. All right. Price elasticity. Yeah, that's right, Arnie. Let's see. 3 phones. My last 3 phones have been refurbished on eBay.
Yeah, I was going to get a refurbished one too, but it ended up that the
Yeah.
new one was a better option this go around.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting a new one for you.
Yeah.
So let's
It's funny how my phone died though the moment that I upgraded to that last.
And it's not just you.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys in the comments, let me know, or down in the chat
It
window.
was perfect.
Have you upgraded your software on your iPhone and then it stopped working? Like there was some problem that happened? Because that's what just happened to us, and we've just heard that from other people.
Yeah.
That same thing happened.
Like my phone was flawless. Used it, no problem. Was on a plane, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, shut down twice. And then, like within 2 or 3 days,
That was it.
what was the thing?
The radio went.
Yeah.
The radio went.
Yeah.
No, the radio didn't work anymore.
Yeah,
So it was
and
like
I took it in.
no
and
Wi-Fi,
yeah,
no.
It just went literally from day to night, just
Yeah, it was gone.
blew up, basically. But it was right after I updated
And this
it.
this actually happened to a few people that we know. So I don't know what that's all about, but I'm not going to speculate and say that something crazy happened there. But something crazy happened. I don't know. Let's see. I'm willing to pay $200 a month for a phone. My communications are $135 or $150. Starlink $10. That's the extra 10 there. Text now and something $10 for hotspot. So sometimes $20 for. So yeah, that's exactly how it works too, right? The time you're done, how much money you spend is crazy. So I would like to see SpaceX, Starlink, or let's say Elon come out with the Pi phone, because I would take the Apple phone and
Can I video it? I want to do it.
You do it?
Yeah.
So on air, right? We'll do it live.
I want to do
we'll
like
go
a
outside.
wrecking ball video.
Wrecking ball. We will run over the iPhones with the car. We'll run them over.
You turned your light on.
Oh, I turned the light on. Yeah, so we will run them over and bring in the Pi phone, or whatever Elon wants to call it, because I think eventually he's going to be able to come out with a phone, and my prediction is that phone is going to use Starlink outside where available, and it's going to use T-Mobile inside, because now T-Mobile and Elon are in bed together, and Starlink's going to be doing some backhauling for them. So I predict that's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
So it will be a T-Mobile / Starlink connection on, let's call it a Tesla phone or a Pi phone.
Are you going to do like support for that too? So do we need a
We'll do-
t-shirt
we'll
with
do a
like
t-shirt.
a pie?
Like a little
an
piece of
actual
pie. It says tech support.
Yeah.
I like it. I think we'll do it.
We're onto
I'm going to do
something
it.
here.
We're onto something. Merch is coming. Yeah, I definitely have to do the
Yeah,
Starlink
we need to write
support.
down all these
No,
ideas.
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Let me see here. Rick says, is there a way I can get a static IP on Starlink so I can access my cameras and internet? So right now, as a matter of fact, I'll put it into the window here. So
I love that. I can't wait to wreck my spy phone. Yes.
yeah, right. Just smash it. So Rick, go check out that link. That's the VPN. If you just go to JCristina.com/VPN, that is PureVPN. They have for like an extra $1.35 a month or something stupid like that. They will give you a static IP as well as do port forwarding, and now all of your cameras work. Okay. That's all I have to say.
Star spy support. Yes, Harmony. I love
Spy?
that.
That's what it's going to be? Star Spy?
Star Pie support.
Star Pie. I like it. Yeah, Star Pie support.
Oh, see, look, I'm coming back.
Where?
Guajaro Loco said she makes all the difference on your
Yes.
live stream. See?
It's true.
She.
Well, she's pretty. I'm ugly. And yes, we know.
Pretty ugly.
Pretty ugly. And we know that YouTube, it just does better with a beautiful face in comparison
Wait,
to an old
Wait,
guy's.
does that mean there's nothing here? It's just a face? What?
No, you're extremely smart, but
Okay.
you're beautiful, and
All
I
right.
am not.
Just making sure.
Okay. Whew. See that?
It's almost midnight.
Is it? Holy.
People are tired.
Okay,
We started
all
late.
right. Yeah, we did. We started at like 10.
Yeah.
Guys, even if you don't write in the comment in the chat window, in the comments, if you're watching this after the fact, if you want us to do this, in the future,
I mean,
let me
I'm
know.
not, as versed in all this
Yeah, but
stuff,
it's just,
but I feel like I'll ask you stuff that
Well, you keep me on
some
track.
people wouldn't know to ask, or they do know to ask, but it just I don't know.
See, I got that ADD shit, and she reels me in a lot because I get all over the place, and I'm like catching flies with and butterflies and stuff. So it's like people ask me like, "What do you do?" It's like, "Do you really want to know what I do?"
Yeah.
It's just So, anyways, yeah, you keep me centered.
Well, it was fun.
Yeah. Let me get
And
this last question
yeah.
over here. It says, yes, please do this more. Okay. we all right. So yeah, definitely let us know.
Also, but wait, also let us know if what night. Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sundays I can't do because I gotta go to bed really early.
Yeah. And plus you're traveling
But
sometimes, so
Fridays or Saturdays, which one would work better?
yeah. I think the weekends are probably good, right, for you guys. I don't know, but let us know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll put a poll up or something,
Yeah.
and I'll do Friday, Saturday, and
Yeah.
see which one people like more. Or
Okay.
something. So, but anyways, guys, thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here.
thank you.
I mean,
Thanks for all the
this
support,
was really
for all
fun.
the questions.
Yes, and thank you for all of this support that you've given us here. I just really do appreciate it, and it was really fun. We got some really great ideas. I'm going to copy paste this entire chat and pull out all of the goodies, and yeah, maybe I'll put together a shirt. I do have that Life After Adobe shirt, but we're definitely going to have to put some kind of Starlink shirt together because it would just be fun to do.
It would be.
But like I said, if I get sued, it's...
Well, we'll dream about it because some of us are tired, and I'm sure other people
Yeah.
are tired.
Maybe there's an attorney. Okay, so if there's an attorney watching right now, can we put together some type of Starlink shirt, technical support shirt, and not get sued? I don't think
We'll dream about it.
We'll dream about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Have a
Really
good
do
night.
appreciate it.
Thank you all.
We'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.